Hi, I'm Tilly. I'm 26 from Austin, Texas, and this is Financial Audit.
So what do you do for a living in Austin, Texas?
To put it simply, I am a website onboarding specialist.
Okay.
I work for a marketing company that caters to event rental companies. And so we help them market themselves. And I'm on the website team where I help people learn how to use their website backend. And I also design websites for them and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That is fun. So what do you bring in for an income?
I make $20 an hour and I work about 40 hours a week. And then from there, I make 20 a week. And then sometimes on the side, if someone wants something special or requests like, hey, can you design a logo for me? I do graphic design on the side.
Do you?
Yeah, which the company allows me to do. And so
that's cool.
Yeah. Typically I'll charge like $95 per logo for simple stuff, but
okay.
Yeah.
So about $3,400 a month?
Yeah. Maybe a little less just because I'm not always picking up the
full 40.
No, not that.
That's with full 40.
Oh, full 40? Yes. Before taxes.
Before taxes, yeah.
Yes.
So that is correct then?
Yes.
Okay. So very cool. And then how much do you think you're making on the side?
It really depends. I just recently started this job, so I haven't done a ton of logos, but
Sure.
I've been doing my side business for almost 7 years now. So
and has it been successful?
it was when I was doing it full time as like a full time freelance graphic designer. It was enough then when I was living with my mom, but nowadays I'm more choosy about the gigs I take.
Sure.
And currently, like, having started the new job and we're in the process of moving, I've slowed it down a little bit, but normally I'll probably take anywhere from 6 to 10 side gigs, logo work a year.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's not many at all.
Yeah, no,
6
it's
to
not
10 and 90 each. Okay, so we're not even going to calculate that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Into your overall financial situation, what are we looking at today? You know, where have you been? Where are you now? What can I help with?
Well, started real bad. Now I'm on the way of doing better.
Yeah.
And, just take a look at things, see what else I can do to kind of clean things up a little bit. It's been a wild ride for me. It's been a wild ride for me. So in 2019, I was living with my mom, and she deals with some mental illness, which is, totally fine. And I wanted to be supportive with her through that, but she was refusing to get help and treatment. And she was in a really bad financial spot herself. Her car had been repossessed, so she took mine from me.
How? Wait, how old are you? Wait, 2019, so you'd have been 22?
Yeah.
How'd she take your car?
I was living with her, and so this goes back another car. So,
was the car in your name?
No, we had left it in her name because it was in the same driveway, and we wanted to save that $500 for the title change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she took the car.
She took the car from me, and so we were both commuting at the same time. Like, I would, drop her off at work and then go to work, or vice versa. And then one day she had a complete meltdown, where she was in the car with me, and we had just parked. She had me buy her dinner, and she snapped. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my life.
Really?
And
snapped how so?
She started screaming at me, and then she left the car, went inside, and just the way she was moving, I was like, that feels almost inhuman. And so I called a really close family friend of ours that we'd just been talking to, who was giving her financial advice. And I had him on the phone and I was like, can you mute yourself? I'll put you on speaker so you can hear what's going on. And he was like, absolutely. As I'm getting out of the car, I see her open the front door and throw my cat in the air into the garden, screaming for everyone to get the fuck out of her house and get the fuck out of her life. I go inside and she's throwing pots and throwing papers. She used to let the mail stack up. She was too anxious to open it. And so she took this big stack of mail and just threw it at everyone. My stepdad, Brian, was there and he witnessed this as well. She got in my face and told me I'd never be successful in life. And the only way I'd ever be successful is because I have a pretty face. She called me a few slurs, which was, whatever. But at that point I was like, you threw my cat.
Yeah.
I'm done with you. I don't know who this person is in front of me, but you're not my mother anymore. Yeah. So I packed up my stuff and luckily I had a friend in the area who let me crash on their couch. They were going to Australia. So they had me house sit for them and I worked my butt off. I didn't really have anything in the Houston area, which is where I was. And so all of my friends and basically my support network was up here in Austin. And so I busted my butt and applied for every job I could. I applied at every fast food place that was offering full-time. I needed full-time for, being able to sustain myself. And I applied at all the hotels. I ended up getting a job at a hotel here in downtown Austin. Moved up here. I got lucky on rent. There was a place that was like moving away from doing student housing, but still leasing by the room. And they were just trying to fill rooms. So I got my rent for a 50% discount. So I was paying $290 a month in Austin.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. But also the place reflected that price.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you had a roof over your head when you were trying to escape a crazy situation and go to Austin. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And thankfully, Austin has really great transit. So I was able to take the bus.
Never heard that before, but...
Oh, yeah. No, I took the bus.
No, I've never heard Austin has really great transit.
I mean, compared to Houston... Sure, yeah. The bar is low. Yeah. And my now partner, David, he helped me get my together. And when I was looking for an apartment or like looking at my options, it was the first time I checked my credit. And I think I might have had the lowest credit score you've ever heard.
What?
It was a 320.
Yeah. That's definitely... How? What did you have? What was your debt?
So it turns out that as early as, I believe, 2007, my mom had opened credit cards under my name and defaulted on them. And there was tens of thousands of dollars of debt under my name before.
Are they in collections right now?
Nope.
Good.
Yeah.
What happened? How'd you do that?
A few things. First off, I reported the identity theft to identitytheft.gov, and that helped. And then I worked with a credit repair company that actually did their job. And they went through and they disputed everything. And now there are only 2 things left on there that have already gone past the, what's the word? The time.
Has it been 7 years?
Yep.
Oh, very nice.
And so they have pretty much fallen off. They're still trying to collect and they keep calling me. And it's like, well, I'm not the person you're looking for.
Yeah. But and it's probably too little money for it to be worth any kind of legal.
Exactly. They actually tried for like $1,000. They tried to take me to court for it, but the court said it's too late.
It was past the statute of limitations.
Yep. And so now my credit, a lot of hard work, a lot of missing out on fun stuff, but now my credit, I checked it the other day when I was sending everything to you. I have a 710.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you sound like someone that almost like would have like come on the show before.
Yeah.
And then like went through the process and cleaned stuff up. We still have debt.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to take a brief moment to give a shout out to the checking account I use and the savings account I also use that is high yield. And that is SoFi. SoFi is an all-in-one banking app that I personally use for my money management when it comes to my checking account and when it comes to my high yield savings account. At the time of recording this video, their high yield savings rate is all the way up to 4.3%. That is so hard to beat, and I am taking advantage of that all day. So if you follow the link in the description below and you set up direct deposits, you could take advantage of a bonus of $50 or all the way up to $250. And that's a bonus I personally took advantage of. So yeah, I just wanted to give them a quick shout out because I personally use them and the link is in the description below. You've come a long way.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
proud of you.
Thank you.
And if you want me to be proud of you, you should hit the subscribe button because we're trying to get to 750,000 subscribers.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, good. Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You definitely came from a lot. That's a wild story compared to what a lot of people have to go through. And so,
yes.
Very good. Now I see a mortgage thing. Is this mortgage open? Because I got some notes on different things. Is this a mortgage you're trying to get, or is this mortgage open?
We have applied for it. We are under contract. We're building a house in North Dallas. So they actually are breaking ground on it next week, I believe. And so we are under contract for it. And so this was, I sent in our mortgage application to you. My partner, David,
gotcha.
he was like, this has all the information he's going to ask for. So just send this. And I was like,
cheap new build.
I know, right?
How much did you all put down?
Oh, may I ask him? Because he's the one who would know. I'm very bad with remembering numbers and where they go.
Well, let me see if it's in the notes.
Okay.
Oh, just 15,000.
Yeah.
And
So
the loan amount's only 291,000. I mean, for Texas, I guess Dallas is just much cheaper.
yeah, and it's like not in the super populated parts of Dallas.
And because of a program, mortgage credit certificate, tax credit refunds 20% of the interest you pay. Oh, so okay, I see what it says.
Yeah,
so you're gonna be at 7.125%, but with the tax credit refund, it's gonna feel more like 5.7%.
Yes, and then also
Did you get back? Well, are you on this or just?
yes, we're both on it.
Are you married?
We're about to be.
Okay.
So essentially, our kind of decision was, do we want to get married first or buy a house first?
Mm-hmm.
And he works in mortgage finance. He's a data analyst. And so he was like, sorry.
It's okay. I'm just moving it in your direction.
Thank you. So he was like, I know the house is important to you. You want a stable place to stay. And I know the rates aren't going to get much better. So let's do house first, one big financial commitment at a time. And after we get the house settled, then we'll go through with the other part of things.
Okay. No, interesting. Yeah, I mean, there can definitely be some legal risk there, but when are you all getting married?
We're shooting for next October.
Okay, so the minimum monthly payment will be basically $2,000.
Yep.
How do y'all do finances right now? Do you split everything down the middle or like what's going
50-50.
on? Okay. Okay. And then you have some student loans left.
Yes.
What'd you go to school for?
I originally, can I brag a little?
Go for it.
I got scouted by 36 colleges for theatrical lighting design. So essentially being an electrician for stage shows and performances. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that's my little brag. But I ended up getting injured and I went to the University of Oklahoma. I got injured and had to drop out of the program because I couldn't lift anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then I went to, at the time, my dad was going into retirement due to his disability. Mm-hmm. And so I moved to Florida to go to school at Full Sail.
You've been everywhere.
Full
Sail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Full Sail for business communications and media studies. That's the full title.
Okay.
And so I was over in Florida and also helping my dad with getting used to retiring because my dad's a bit of a workaholic. So that was a tough transition.
Why didn't you move with him after you were kicked out of mom?
So I love my dad. He's a wonderful human. He is part of a religious cult.
What's the cult? Does it have a name to it?
It does. I don't feel comfortable saying it on camera.
Is it like an actual cult?
Yeah. Well, it's a religious cult. It's not a like sacrificing people cult, but it's a cult.
When you say cult, like some people will call like the Scientology a cult. Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, in that vein.
But not like a legitimate like Waco type cult.
No, not a full Waco thing.
So he doesn't support with the religion he's in. He doesn't support you.
He would support me if I would return to the religion, which I like who I am, so I don't want to do that. And so he's been very supportive of me as an individual, but not. And he has helped me a few times financially. Like once I got the flu and he sent me some money so I could go to the doctor and like get medicine and stuff. So that was very kind of him, and I repaid him as soon as I could.
So essentially living with him just wasn't an option.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So $13,504 is student loans. Some are subsidized, some are unsubsidized. It's basically split down the middle. So I'm guessing the rates are going to be anywhere from 4 to 6%, depending on the loan. They're on pause right now. They're going to resume in just a couple of months. It's probably going to be about $150, $175 a month in minimum monthly payments.
Yep.
You have any other debt?
I do have some credit cards.
Debt, though?
Debt? Like, did you say death or debt?
Debt.
No. I have what's about to fall off my credit report from my mom, which is, I write it off because.
So everything else is just whatever. So what are your goals? What are we trying to do? What could I help with?
So I want to get to a place where I can go back to going to therapy weekly. Right now I'm going every other week.
Sure.
And I want to really, I just want to make sure I'm on the right track of things. I want to just make sure that I'm setting myself up and David and I up for success because I love him so much. And I do sometimes feel like I'm a bit of a burden to him because I am, or at least coming into the relationship, I was financially illiterate and I still struggle. Like I struggle with remembering numbers, like even like getting here, like you gave me like the code and I could not remember it.
Well, I don't think memory of numbers is necessarily bad finances. It's just discipline and the actions surrounding it. I don't think not remembering a number is bad. Okay, well, let's look at the full picture and then see if you're on track and stuff like that for your age.
Sounds good. And yeah, I have a lot of anxiety around finances and numbers, especially just due to how my mom handled things and kind of how that ended up for me. So there's a lot of anxiety there. And so I figured, I'll come on here, be a cool little, yay, someone did something right. And now be like, okay, now what can I do to keep being better?
We'll start with the credit cards. On here, you pay off your balances every month, so we don't have to worry about that. But you did spend, so on a monthly basis, we are bringing in $3,000. We're gonna be tracking your spending of it.
Yes, and I gave you the
$771 to spend on this card.
And I will say May was a weird month for me because I ended up being between jobs. I'll say it again on camera, but
well, I don't. Weird month. There's always weird months. Every month's a weird month. I don't know. Dutch Bros. And we mentioned this was therapy.
Yes.
So, that's every other week. And then Amazon, Notion Labs, Dutch Bros, Steam Games, Amazon, some therapies, and then some gas.
And then
and some taquitos going into gas stations and buying things, I'm seeing.
What amount was that one?
Well, that was $20, unless you're paying for the gas inside.
I paid for gas inside, and I got a drink because I had a coupon for a free drink.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then Notion is software that I use for organizing my life. I pay for it annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's an annual payment, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm trying to get work cover for things, but that's fine. Then $305 spent on the other one. This is the BS card. This is where you're giving to someone else's Patreon and taquitos and Amazon and start playing and inside, taquitos and start playing and Domino's and start playing some drive-through, start playing Terry's, P. Terry's Burgers and Shock something.
Shockbite. It's they host servers.
Gotcha. And TEBEX and Patreon again.
What's TEBEX? Like, can I see that? Can I just see that.
Just a second from the bottom.
Oh, that was wait. Looking up there. Okay. Oh yeah, that was for I bought a game module. I play D&D.
Gotcha.
And so that's what the start plane is, and also the Patreons for a little bit of software I use to run my games. Keeps track of numbers for me.
Gotcha. Not in your checking account. This is where a lot of other more BS spending was too. But I'm nervous, even without the debts, and you have some student loans, so your debt situation's not crazy, and some things are going to be falling off your collections that your mom did, which is terrible. But $11, actually no, your checking account ended with $10.
Yes.
That's kind of dangerously low.
Yes, it is.
And if it's dangerously low, should we really be getting taquitos and Gaizo and DDBR?
Gaizo is software I use for work that they reimburse me for.
They reimburse. Good. Appliance warehouse.
That's our washer
Never
dryer.
know. Washer dryer. Wanted to make sure. Put a question mark next to it. GoFundMe. Should you be GoFundMing someone else $11.50 when you only have $10 in your account? I don't know. Wizards of Coast and Amazon and Google Thing and Domino's and Steam Games and Stix McKinney, PayPal Steam Games and PayPaling out some money to your partner, I think, and
actually to his brother.
Oh, to his brother, okay.
Yeah.
And paying for your Linktree. Again, that's as much as what you had in your account. Do we need to be doing that?
I actually, when I saw that, I canceled it.
Spotify, good. Same amount as what would be in your account, more actually, Spotify, and Raising Cane's, and Taquitos, and Zelling Money Out, and Taquitos, and Pizzeries.
The last two Zelle money outs were to David, which were for groceries.
We got, in terms of BS spending, only like $463, but actually, I don't think that did not include the inside spending of the things that you were doing. So it's probably closer to about $600 BS spending, which, depending on the situation, isn't always bad for you. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's get the full picture still.
That's fair. Also, just random funny thing. David also watches your videos. I showed them to him, and he thinks it's really funny that you all the inside gas station is taquitos now.
Yeah.
We buy ours in bulk from Costco.
You actually get taquitos?
We actually get taquitos in bulk. So the gas station is mostly me getting drinks or trail mix,
Sure.
which I should get from Costco. But
Yes, buy in bulk. Keep with you.
Yeah.
Savings. This is interesting. We started with 4,212.
yes,
368 went in. Then you took out 2,192. Where'd that go? Because we ended with savings about half of what it started with.
Yes. So that was in May. I was between jobs. And so David is actually the one who manages my savings for me. We have a little relationship contract about that. So if we break up, we have a piece of paper that we both signed and someone witnessed.
That's good.
Yeah. But essentially he was like, since you're, between jobs right now, let's do this to just make sure you can cover all the minimum monthly things. And he has a fully, his emergency fund is fully funded. And so this was my emergency fund. And so he was like, well, you're the one who's between jobs right now. So
Why was money taken out?
For paying for everything, cards, everything.
Okay, so we're taking from savings to pay for things, so your paycheck's not covering it all?
Well, that was when I was between jobs, so I didn't have the paycheck.
Oh, I understand. When did that job end and when did the new job start?
So the new job started on May 19th. And then the old job ended whatever the Friday or Thursday before that was. I did.
So why do we have to take out 2,000 though? If you're only a few days in between.
And then before that job, I was unemployed for, it was a weird, I know a lot of things are weird situations and weird months, but I had my nice, good paying job that I'd had for quite some time. And I was let go from there in, oh goodness, is that February, March? I was in March, and then I applied everywhere to just get back into it. And I took a job that paid a lot less and was a lot more time.
You needed to drain from your savings to subsidize?
Yeah. And
how long were you doing that job?
I was there for a month and a week and a half. Then as soon as I got an opportunity elsewhere, I took it.
May 18th. Okay, so this is, what is the savings at today?
Today it is at $2,200.
That doesn't make sense. You got your better paying job, but the savings is even lower than it was at this point. Why have we not refilled or started to refill? I'm a bit confused. 2,200 is lower than 2,300.
That is right. Can I text David to double check what it actually is right now?
Sure.
Yes, because he is.
What was the savings at the peak before we had to start draining from it?
At the peak, it was at 6,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So depending on what the number this is, on the right track will be answered. Because if we're not refilling, then on the right track is no. Like, if you have to
We're at 2,400. So.
Okay, so it's $17 higher than it was at this point.
Yes, but going up.
No, I can't give credit for that. No, come on. If we were in the new job for a month now, you have received a paycheck that should have immediately started to go, maybe not the full 2,000 that you took out, but should have started to go towards rebuilding what we had to take away.
Yes.
If you got to take away from an emergency fund to subsidize yourself, then all those taquitos and going out to eats and the $700 of BS should be $700 added towards savings.
You're right.
Okay, so why did you not do that?
This is going to sound like an excuse, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I was really struggling with a wonderful bout of depression due to having lost a job that I really cared about and taking one that did not treat me well. And so those little, going inside and just getting, something.
Do you get pop all the time?
No, I don't. I do tea.
Okay.
And I typically go for sugar-free. Sometimes I'll add like a little bit of the sweetened stuff.
Well, I do have to mention, I'm saying this as an overweight person who has lost 5 pounds recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you. A lot of these things that we're seeing in the BS spending are not necessarily healthy.
You're right.
In fact, I would say about $700 of unhealthiness. And of course, we do know from different, I am not even close to a mental health expert, not even close. Big proponent.
Yes.
Not even close to an expert. But from everything that I learned as I've dealt with myself, when it comes to increased anxiety, when it comes to increased depression and stuff like that, a lot of the dietary issues and a lot of the overall physical health can also play a big part into it. And if we're not in a physically healthy place, are we really benefiting ourselves if we're doing $700 on BS that's also BS for ourselves?
No, not at all.
Okay. Yeah. Have you thought about your personal health on this side of stuff?
Yes, I have. It's something I've actively been trying to work on for a few years now. Okay. When the pandemic started, I just gained a lot of weight, and
it's difficult. I understand it. Trust me, I understand it.
And I have an extra challenge to that as well. I was diagnosed with a mental disorder called dissociative identity disorder. Okay. Some people will mistakenly refer to it as multiple personality disorder, but
educate us on it, because I'm not educated on it.
So it's not a personality disorder. It's a dissociative disorder. So the current understanding of why people have it is when someone faces a lot of childhood trauma, sometimes even called chronic childhood trauma. To protect themselves, they will dissociate as a child. And so in their young adolescent and adolescent years, instead of forming a singular personality and being one person, those dissociated states each become their own person. And so essentially there are multiple people in my head with me.
And that's impacted your physical health a lot as well?
Yes, because like one or two of us might be like, yes, in the morning, let's set our alarm, let's get up before the sun rises and let's go for a run. And then someone else in the brain will be like, no, I don't want to do that. And it can be really difficult to manage the wants and needs of multiple people.
Is therapy helping?
It does. I've gotten into a much better place than I was before. I used to genuinely be scared of it. And now I'm, if I think about it too long, it does feel like like I could very easily go into an existential crisis thinking about how I don't have full autonomy over my own mind, thoughts, feelings, and expressions. But it's very easy for me to be like, but not that I'm okay with it, but like I've accepted it and I've come to terms with it. And now I have much clearer channels of communication with the other people in my brain. And we have, we're still working on things. I'd be lying if I said that I have it all under control and every day we're doing better. But like we have things in place to, succeed as a team. And so, there's some things that kind of suck about it because part of it is sometimes I have amnesia gaps, which essentially, if I'm not the one here talking to you, and someone else is, then I might not remember that.
Well, I don't know how to deal with that. That's going to be something, obviously, you and your therapist continue to work on. Yes. I can lay out financial ways to get there, and then you need to work with your therapist to then determine what's the best way for you to then deal with that. Yeah. But either way, one reason I'm just scared of the savings not going up is because that's not a good sign in general. But then number two, you are getting on a mortgage without even close to a fully funded emergency fund, which is something we never do.
Yes.
Never. Very risky.
Can I say something that might make you feel better? So our lease at our apartment here in Austin is up in a few weeks. And instead of moving into another apartment or renewing the lease at an increased rate, we are actually moving in with David's parents for a few months while the house is being built. And so instead of paying rent, I'm going to pay him the amount I would pay for rent, and he's going to put that right into my savings.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Are these two Fidelities the same or different?
Let me see.
Because they have incredibly similar values.
One of these is in regards, I think this one is, I am so sorry. These are both ones that David manages. And I know one of them is related to the house and is our savings for the house.
Oh, well, I can determine that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is a savings fund, and it's both of you, it's not yours?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the one that was in just like cash, government money.
Yes.
Correct.
He runs it, but it's the money we both put into for the house.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be this one. So then the other $20,000, what is that? What is the other one then?
I believe.
So $20,000 for the house. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And what's the other $20,000 for? Like, is it a Roth IRA?
Oh,
is it your...
I believe it is. I'm trying to remember if it's a Roth or 401k.
Does it contribute from your work?
Yes.
So it's a 401k. It could be Roth or traditional.
Okay.
I would recommend Roth if they offer that. I see.
Well, this one.
Nothing to indicate either.
This one actually we set up outside of work since I lost my job and was between jobs. So it
was a rollover?
Yeah.
Oh, you have $20,000 like that.
Yay. And again, I apologize for not knowing everything.
Then we have something. That's $5,000. Just some Fidelity stuff. What is it? It is under your name, this one.
This one is, may I see? This is Guideline. This is my investment portfolio from my old job.
So you have $25,000.
Yes.
Is this going to be your budget or both your budgets?
This is my budget for my half of things. This is the budget.
Half of the mortgage is going to be $1,400?
Yes. We're also getting $8,000 from his mom, who is our realtor. So she's giving us her commission towards things. Yeah.
What are you going to put that towards, though?
The house.
Just the principal?
I believe so.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Our monthly expenses. So, okay, here's what we have. Mortgage, $1,400. Phone, $53. Electricity, $120. Car insurance, $240. Yeah. Therapy, $300. Good. Things for your cat, $30. Food and groceries, $230, your portion. Okay, I would have cut that down a little since you're both splitting it down the middle, but I'll deal with that. $60 for gas, prescriptions, $120. That's pretty expensive for...
Yep.
Well, it always depends on the prescription. There's some people out there who are like, I wish I was only...
Yeah, no, my old prescriptions were like $600 before insurance.
Premium. I'll support that. Spotify won't necessarily support. Especially since you can listen to any song on YouTube Premium anyway with it just closed. You don't need Spotify.
We both share it, and I run it in the background while I'm working.
$11, Google Drive.
Yeah, work and everything.
And then some other work things. Some work things that add up to about, okay, the start playing thing you don't need to have, $80.
I know. I like feeling like
D&D,
the hero.
$10 you don't need. The Giazzo.
That's the work software that
that's $4. That's fine.
Yeah. I like feeling like the hero a few times a week.
Yeah, but that's $2,960. And with payroll being $2,912, math isn't mathin'.
Yeah.
Which is what you guys calculated, because that's what it would have been after the taxes that we had of $3,466. Then he's calculated the extra income of $250, which does not make sense for what you were telling me earlier.
Oh, so my work, it's a small startup. There's only like 20 employees. So right now they, instead of offering insurance, they give us a $250 medical stipend. Mm-hmm. And so that goes towards medical expenses.
So $3,162, giving you a wiggle room total of $202. But then if you do the other things like Notion and Discord Nitro and Dropout TV, which are annual, it still takes stuff away from that.
Yeah.
Your wiggle room is nothing. So are you on the right track? No.
Okay.
You are not on the right track. Your savings has gone down, and it is flatlined once you got your new job. Your retirement, $25,000, okay. 26 years old. I think I want to see a little closer to 50 around there, but I'm also not devastated by 25.
Okay.
Not by any means. With your job and income, I would have rather seen about 50. But I understand the situations have been in flux. The budget's out of control. It doesn't make sense. You have to cut the D&D stuff for now, the start playing stuff. I mean, because student loans are about to start up, and that's about to pop in here. You put $80? No, it's not going to be $80. Unless you're on like an income-based repayment, which would be terrible.
I used to be. Should I not be?
Maybe that's what it is. Well, the income-based repayment thing essentially just makes your minimum payment so small that interest is just accruing forever and ever and ever. Yes, it makes the minimum monthly payments affordable, but the student loans just continue to balloon forever. You want to do the traditional 10-year repayment.
Okay.
And then $200 goes to savings.
Yep.
So that's bills. But that doesn't make sense, because even that, especially if he's a fan of the channel, 200. So
to be fair, I just showed it to him like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, but even still, 50, 30, 20, minimum $632 should be going to savings.
Okay.
$200, we're well below that.
Okay.
Well below that. So, no, we got to clean things up here. Food, I would cut your food to about $150 for your half. If he wants to provide more, he can, but you just need to start cutting things.
Okay.
Cool, cats, $30, that's okay. Therapy, absolutely. Car insurance, not much we can do about that. And then you can shop around for better rates eventually, but
we did.
Okay, well, yeah. Mortgage, sketchy situation that you've locked yourself into. It's a damn interest rate. Yeah, that's what's getting you right now. Spotify, he can pay for it if he wants to, but you're done with it.
Okay.
I mean, just cut everything you can, and we're cutting the $80 to start playing. Even that still, it's the mortgages. Actually, all right, y'all, we got to talk about something important. Data brokers are making a fortune selling your private data out, and it goes to robocallers and scammers and other people who want to know more about you, like where you live. But that's why I'm excited to talk about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do. Let Aura handle it for you. You can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link in the description below or by going to aura.com/hammer. Aura also does much more to protect you and your family from online threats you can't see. It's really easy to set up so you don't have to download several different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more. You get everything at one affordable price. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so you can focus on the rest of life with peace of mind. You can either let people continue to exploit and profit off your private information, or you can go to aura.com/hammer. So head there and start your free 2-week trial, or check out the link in the description below. Mortgage is 44% of your post-tax. Post-tax. Needs should max out at 50%.
Okay.
So this is too much. I think those little side hustles that you do, we're going to start ramping those up a little more. Try as much as you can, or you try to find yourself a better job with the experience you have.
Okay.
Because you don't make a income, especially compared to a lot of places in the United States. This is with where your expenses are at, with the mortgage that you've locked yourself into. It doesn't make sense right now. Eventually, once the marriage is happening, we're doing a combined pile anyway. So all your money goes into a pile, all his money goes into a pile, and the expenses come out of there, and we 50, 30, 20 based on that.
Yes.
For where this is now, no, this is actually a struggle spot, because when those student loans start in at what they should be of about $175 a month, things are gone here. You just don't have money. And we need to start investing more. What's your contribution of your 401k at the new place?
So there's not like an automatic one startup. So it's what I send to David. He'll take.
Damn it. So that's what's already in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that $650 or whatever it was is what you should be investing on a minimum monthly basis. That's the number we should always try to hit first and foremost. And then you can do your needs. And then whatever's left is your wants. 50, 30, 20 is just like a baseline if someone's looking at getting started. Okay. But you're not even close to hitting what's like the most important here, and that's you saving for your future. You're not going to be able to retire. I'm glad your savings are where they are now, but with the new income situation and the new mortgage signing up, and if it's just you're split down the middle, I don't see you retiring.
Okay.
This is not going to happen. It's very scary because even that $200 a month, if that, which this last month wasn't even being put towards savings, $200 a month, that's going to take forever just to get you to an emergency fund that I feel comfortable with, that you should feel comfortable with. It's going to take a few years. With this mortgage payment and these expenses, $2,900, let's call it $2,600 to exclude the savings and stuff like that. Times that by 6, we'd want like $16,000 saved up. You have 2,000, 14,000. Divide that by 200. It's going to take you 70 months. It's ridiculous. It's going to take you 6 years just to get to that. And then you can start, what's your car situation? What car do you have?
Oh, so we did lease a car, but we're planning on buying it out at the end of the lease. Do
you have to pay anything towards that?
I pay for the insurance. David did the car payment. And so we got a 2021 Nissan Sentra.
Okay, so I'm not terrified about that.
Gets great grass mileage.
I love grass mileage. Okay, so yeah. For your situation, are you on the right track? You're better than a lot of people. You've come a long way. You're in a much better place than you've been. So we can celebrate that. But there's some important things we have to clean up. Your expenses, you got yourself into too expensive of a mortgage by 14%, because there should never be 30% of your income, which in some places is impossible. Dallas is not. Especially in the far suburbs. But either way, yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous about retirement. I'm nervous about if something bad happens and you're on your own because you don't really have an emergency fund. There's risk levels that I'm not willing to tolerate, and you shouldn't either. So cut back on everything. Get a fully funded emergency fund. It's an emergency that you do not have an emergency fund, and we know that because we've seen what situations other people have been in on this show where things have happened and they did not have an emergency fund and they ended in a much worse position than they were previously.
Yes.
So, yeah. You're saving up that $16,000 as quick as possible. Then you got to cut the things back, and you got to do a minimum 20% of your post-tax towards retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would do. You just got to start cutting some things back. Once the full pile is there from the total income from the marriage, then we can have conversations about what the money looks like then for both of you all combined. But separate, it's definitely worrisome. Any final thoughts?
Want to come to the wedding? Is this about my situation?
Any
or
final
to
thoughts
the
at all?
Okay. Well, I guess to the audience, don't give up on yourself. Make those sacrifices. Get out of the hole. It's a lot less stressful being on the other side of things. And check your credit report. You got to do that.
Got to do that.
And then, you can
also lock your credit.
Yes. I had to unlock it for the mortgage stuff, but most of the time, it's locked down like a fortress.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is doable. This is doable. I can do it.
For Tilly, they've obviously come a really long way and have come from a very hard background, but now they are in a much better place. There's still some things to clean up, but I see a successful future if they're willing to cut back on the spending now and try to increase their income either through side hustles or a better job down the road. For now, Hammer financial score, spending within a budget, well, we don't have a fully funded emergency fund, so we shouldn't be spending this stuff anyway, but even with the spending with the income, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Debt, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. If it was just the student loans, then I'd be like, okay, it could be a little better than that because they're not the worst at all. But the mortgage, getting in the mortgage that takes up such a high percentage of that post-tax income, I have to give a 5 out of 10. Retirement, I am relatively happy with where we are. It should be a little better with that income. It's going to be 7 out of 10. Emergency fund, 3 out of 10 because it was drained to about 2,000, 2,500, and then it just hasn't gone up. Can't be much better than that. Then real estate, happy we got into real estate, so we're actually going to get a score here of 3 out of 10, but it's so low because it's so expensive for the income until that pool of money is combined. So feel free to check out all the resources in the description below. I should have said the full score. The full score is a 4.5 out of 10. Check out all the resources in the description below. Things like high yield savings accounts, cards to build your debit cards to help build your credit, and free $5 when you sign up for Acorns. There's lots of things down there. Don't forget to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Thanks.